The capital. No warning, no evacuation. No one came to help. The flood came too fast, and the government moved too slow.
Everything around me was nothing but water, mud, and the endless howling of the wind. The once bustling streets have now vanished beneath chest-deep water. The storm began in mid-July and lasted for several consecutive days. The rain fell relentlessly, as if the sky were unleashing its full fury upon the earth. In many areas, recorded rainfall exceeded 600 millimeters in just a few days. In Ďeadly, the water level of the Ďeadly River rose by more than 8 meters. People had no time to react. Within just a few hours, the entire village was swept away. The scene was so haunting that I was left speechless, unable to even lift my camera. The drainage system completely collapsed, and dark, murky floodwaters surged through the streets. Severe flooding submerged thousands of cars, leaving them floating aimlessly everywhere. Underground parking garages, once bustling with vehicles, were now submerged more than 2 meters deep. I saw with my own eyes a bus being swept away by the water, spinning in circles at an intersection. Rescue sirens echoed everywhere. Helicopters and rescue boats operated around the clock. Nearly 100,000 people were urgently evacuated from the danger zones. Schools and community centers were temporarily turned into emergency shelters. But not everyone could be saved. In some places, the flood came too quickly. Within just 15 minutes, entire neighborhoods were submerged, the power was cut, and all phone signals were lost. Many people lost contact with their families. Some remained trapped on second floors. Mountain highways were also cut off by landslides. Over 17 community bridges were swept away or had their pillars collapse overnight. The scene after the storm resembled a post-war landscape, devastation, ruin, and an eerie silence. The floodwaters didn't just wash away soil, they also carried toxic chemicals from industrial zones. Rivers that were once crystal clear had turned pitch black, with dead fish floating along the banks. Nearly 21,000 homes were severely damaged, with more than 6,000 completely collapsed. Roofs were torn off by the wind, walls cracked, and foundations were flooded, making homes unsafe to live in. Many families had to climb onto their rooftops to escape the rapidly rising waters. In some areas, floodwaters reached the second floor, turning 3-story houses into temporary shelters. Neighborhoods that were once modern have now turned into vast, inescapable lakes. Shops, supermarkets, and pharmacies all were flooded, their goods swept away by the water. National Highway 319 was deeply submerged and completely impassable. The high-speed rail line connecting Chongqing to Hunan was temporarily suspended across its entire route. The rain poured down like a waterfall onto the tin roofs, thundering through the night. The wind howled in long, violent gusts, tearing open windows and hurling objects everywhere. Trees bent and crashed to the ground, as if struck by an invisible force. Many one-story homes had their roofs completely torn off, left exposed to the rain like abandoned ruins. Viewed from above, the scene resembled a war zone. Homes and roads lay in devastation. When the flood comes, the world turns upside down, and humans become as small as dust.
Urbanization has outpaced flood mitigation upgrades. As paved surfaces
With every second, nature takes over more land. We are nothing but tiny creatures in the face of its fury. With every passing minute, the water rises by several centimeters. I never thought nature could be this fierce.